Hello. Welcome out to the Cars, Bars, and Guitars podcast, episode number 9.
9.
My name's AJ.
And I'm Steve.
Steve, who are we brought to you today by?
I'd say the Pike Brewing Company, but I've never been to Seattle.
Or the Peak.
Also, yes.
Where is Pikes Peak?
Colorado.
Oh. You learn something every day.
Here's a neat trick. You can now only go up Pikes Peak paved.
Aw. Well, what fun is that?
You can go faster that way.
So you're saying even retroactively on Gran Turismo 2, you can't do Pikes Peak in the Suzuki Escudo.
You can still do it virtually. I stand corrected.
Gotcha. Steve, what are we drinking?
Sweetwater Brewing Company Going Coastal IPA with pineapple.
It is... I'm really not tasting much pineapple. I know it's a hint of pineapple, but I don't really get any of it.
It's only the hand grenade part.
Ooh. Slip into some sunshine, off the grid, going coastal with this pineapple-laced IPA, 5 citrus hops. Just like those 3-day weekends, its finish is quick. All right. 6.1%.
Coming up 3 of those in a row.
6.1%, and Sweetwater is in Georgia, which you've been to Sweetwater, right?
Yes. Forget Disney World. That's the happiest place on earth.
No way. Okay. Do they have a lot of stuff there that you can't normally get?
At least there's a lot of stuff there 5 years ago I'd never seen before or since.
Well, it's only 4 hours down the road. Say,
Also,
what are you
yes.
doing tomorrow?
Everything else.
Yeah, I got to work too.
It's like, gonna go to a different brewery, actually.
Yes,
Maybe you could too.
We might. Hello, Brian Kirkman. We might meet you in Noda proper tomorrow for a little bit of heist.
So if anybody's listening live, which you're not, catch us at Heist tomorrow.
If you're listening live, you have broken into my house somehow.
It's only the 10th anniversary of the most metal day ever.
Oh?
June 6th. 2006.
Oh, 6606. Okay. Yeah,
The Date of the Beast.
Man, it's been a long day already. So we're going coastal with the IPA Sweetwater. My band just got booked at a brewery in Florence, South Carolina called, I don't even remember the name. Locomotive Brewing Company. Kirkman says beer is decent and the ambiance is stellar, so I'm looking forward to that. Have never had any of you. Have you ever had any of their beer?
I've never even heard of them until 20 minutes ago.
I feel like we do need to learn some Kylie Minogue when we go down there.
I was gonna go with the Billy Idol cover of it.
He did a cover of it.
Oh yeah, it's
How horrible is it?
It's no White Wedding.
It's a black divorce. So you went to... Did you and Gray go down there to Sweetwater, or was...
No, I was there with Smith, Mark K, and Gerald about 5 years ago.
That's you. Yeah, I think you asked me if you guys asked if I could go, and that was right around after I got married, and we were still putting stuff together.
Yeah, that or just before. It was April of 2013.
That was just before, and we were saving money to do that. That's why I couldn't go.
Yeah, I think at that point in time I was 2 weeks a single man, so I just drank a lot.
which is healthier for you than staying in that horrible relationship.
Yep.
No.
Anyway, who?
Yeah, let's go to a happier topic. So other than
even better was drinking for free there. We kind of stumbled upon a beer distributors event, and I bumped into a guy I knew from high school who was like head beer honcho at a pool hall in Greensboro, and since then he's vanished to go hike the Appalachian Trail, but has posted a series of silly pictures and whatnot.
What is it with you and friends who decide to go AWOL and go hike the Appalachian Trail?
At least Sam returned. Brennan never did.
Yeah.
Well, he's ex-Army. I think he's okay. He just decided to be off the grid.
If anybody can survive off the grid, it would be somebody who's ex-Army.
Yeah.
And Java was super smart anyway, too. So,
yeah.
Besides Sweetwater, you guys went to a couple of different ones, right?
It was the Sweetwater during beer distributors event, so everyone was drinking for free until we realized all the distributors were about to get on the bus to go to the 420 festival. Well, we did not arrive in bus, so therefore we had to go after 4 free beers.
Aw.
So darn, we had to go to the beer garden downtown instead.
Well, shucks.
Yeah. And a Japanese joint and some divey bars and Next day, dragged Sean to see Dana Gould at the Laughing Skull.
Was it as funny as I think it would be? Nice.
It was a lot of stuff I'd heard before, but it sure was cool seeing it live with him, like, right above us.
I'm very unfamiliar with Dana Gould, but what I have seen, I did enjoy. So
the moth.
Yes.
By the way, folks, if you haven't heard that, look it up on the YouTube.
Oh, it's great.
And prepare to be disturbed, yet still have your funny bone tickled.
Mm-hmm. In a way you would want. In other news, Harvey Weinstein pled not guilty today. Got nothing.
Not actually paying attention to the news. I only got up at 3.
I only know that because I turned NPR on, and that was like the first thing. It was Lakshmi Singh. Harvey Weinstein pleads not guilty. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Can we get back to whatever? I don't even remember
anything else terrible in the world.
I was gonna say nothing in the U.S. Just somewhere else. Oh, they're trying to legalize divorce in the Philippines because now it's illegal, and they're trying to legalize it, which is because you can get your marriage annulled, but you have to prove that your spouse was mentally incapacitated at the time, so your marriage was null and void because your spouse has mental issues.
Do they keep everything in manila envelopes there?
I will golf clap you with the power glove.
Now sounds more like a clap.
Not the clap. You can get rid of that. Never mind. But I was listening to Ghost when I turned off. I don't know why I turned Ghost off to listen to NPR, but I did. Yeah.
Whatever works.
Well, I wanted to hear what was going on, and that's what I learned. That and Weinstein and divorce, and then I went back to Ghost, and I figured it was the safer bet. It was the album Meliora, which if you haven't listened to Ghost and you only seen their pictures, the music is not anything like what they look like. It is very...
They look like a better Kiss.
A way better Kiss. Not that's a very low hoop to jump over, but yeah. But they're like, it's more 80s metal, very theatrical, like Iron Maiden-y. It's okay. Like that. You haven't listened to much of it, have you?
I have not. I had a coworker that was big into them. I think they came in with your favorite Coward of the Lion cover band years ago. Snuffleupagus.
Yes. Toby got me turned on to Ghost because at first when I looked at them, because I'm a metalhead too, but when I looked at them, I was like, okay, this is going to be like very like black metal, like screechy. That's what I thought it was going to, and it's not. Just it's beautiful.
Years ago, Anthony and I went to, I think it was Amos's, and saw Opeth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, rather than being, death metal, this was jazz fusion. This was the most mellow live set I've ever seen, with the most mellow bunch of 6'6" giants in audience ever. Like, where are we? This is way more chilled out than I expected.
Opeth's fans are monsters. They're all tall. You have to be tall to be an Opeth fan.
But I'm 6'2".
No, give it to him. Give it to him in inches, since everybody's kid. How old's your kid? 23 months. Gross. After it turns a year old, give it to me in years. I don't want to have to math, even though I majored in it. What did you major in?
I attempted engineering. This was a very bad idea.
That's okay. Aren't we better off for it now? Look how successful we are.
My feet are still on the ground. My head's still above water. So, yeah, things could be worse.
Yeah, it could be vice versa. So you guys went... You went to Terrapin, too, didn't you?
That was earlier, before Decatur Beer Festival with Hagen. 2010, maybe.
That's what I thought. Emily and I were together when you went down there with Hagen.
That would have been in October of something to the tune of 09, 010, or 011. It was one of the early Decatur Beer Festivals. That was just me and him there. So we went there, and that was another case of forget Disney, happiest place on earth sort of thing.
Well, we'll just
a cool spot.
We'll have to stick with going to Sierra Nevada.
This too works.
We need to go back there.
Yep.
We were thinking about doing a...
So what do you want for your next beer?
Yes. We were thinking about doing a trip to I don't remember the name of the place, but it was on the... You know what? I'll look it up. We do this every time. It's not like I don't have a device in my pocket that tells me exactly. It was a zip lining place, and it's not far from there. So I figure we can do zip lining and then go drink, because the alternative...
Vice versa sounds a bit more dangerous, but hey, that's why everything's Carabiner up.
Ask Sean Feely about that. He
did not feel good after that one.
He revisited that. Let's see. It's near Columbus, I think. Let's see. That's Weaver Barton Shuford Memorial. That's not it.
Is that a law firm or a funeral home?
Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. I miss Car Talk. I really do wish it still came on. You know, I'm going to start. Anyway, we'll do that, and then we'll go there. And I have not been to New Belgium since they came the old North State side.
Me neither.
I've heard it was kind of small, but I...
Got to start somewhere.
Sierra Nevada didn't get that memo.
Highland has since expanded, and they did a rebranding. And goodbye, Little Scotsman. I'll miss you.
What do they do now? Bigger Scotsman?
It's like a compass rose.
It's
not as interesting.
That's very lame.
It's like there's such a fuss about the rebranding. It's like, at least the beer's still good. I'm not here to look at it.
Rest in peace, Bounty Man. The Gorge, a zipline canopy tour, and it's actually closer. It's almost 74, and then you get on 26 for 5 miles when 74, 26 come together.
That's even south of Hendersonville, so that's on the closer side of everything.
Yep, it's right there near Hendersonville, so it's very close by to Mills River, which is where all that shit is anyway. Thinking about doing that, and thinking about doing a guy's trip to Asheville, where we split a hotel badly and shoehorn another 6 dudes in a cheap hotel room. I mean, it is just a place to sleep.
Good old deja vu.
Yes. Well, you and Toby slept on the ground.
I think we had the right idea.
I think you did. Well, I don't know. I had the worst end of the deal, but I don't know. Brandon had plenty of the bed because Matt was his bunk partner. And when we were at Myrtle Beach, Matt's like, "Yeah, I got a couch and I have a this blow-up mattress." And I was like, "I'll sleep on the."
It's a doll funny.
I was. It did vibrate in weird places.
Therefore, it made you vibrate in weird places.
Hello. Only in one certain spot. We skipped that the last couple of episodes. I had to stick it in there somehow. And I was like, "What do you want, Slickum?" He's like, "I'll take the couch." I was like, "Okay, I'll take I can sleep on anything." And we get there, Matt's couch is like the size of this table. And I was like, "Toby, how you feel about that?" He goes, "Man, I thought you said you had a couch, not a goddamn sofa chair." He made
a couple of couches, sleep in the love seat. Damn it, Beck. You're still my favorite Scientologist.
You beat me to it. No, by far our favorite Scientologist. Have you read some of that the manual or what their Bible?
Dianetics. I could have, should have bought a copy of that from the largely urban bookstore that was in Noda where Salute is now.
Yeah.
Instead, I bought a copy of Howard Stern's Private Parts.
Yeah, well, that's going to be more well, I don't know. It's going to be more factual. It's definitely going to be more factual. I'm not going to say it's going to be more entertaining than L. Ron Hubbard.
I do have DirecTV now, and there is the Scientology Network. So
no
in
way.
Case I need to get my dose of anti-psychology, I go to channel 200 whatever. I couldn't make this up if I tried.
Ooh, that makes my brain hurt. Do you have the, you don't happen to have the NRA channel? Because that's a channel too.
Well, shoot. I don't believe I do.
John Oliver's thing about the NRA was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. There's some weird programs on that channel. Weird programs. Like, weird programs.
How to fuck your gun?
It's everything but that. Like, it's third base. It was like they were taking this girl on her bachelorette party to shoot something, and then she was trying to reveal she was pregnant, I think, and then they were like shooting a cake and whatever it was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Hey, boy. So we're into Scientology now. I'm just into one beer. So where does this podcast take us?
We were merely discussing what little we know about it on one beer.
Yes, it was very. Episode 8 was very car heavy.
Why stop there?
So, do you want to do a 3-Car Garage USA?
Sure.
Let's do that. You got to get you another beer there.
I do.
All right.
You're probably not far off.
I won't be.
Hold my headphones. Watch this.
Oh no! All right, I'm going to play by play it. Steve's putting his headphone, or I'm putting Steve's headphones down. He's reaching ever so gently. I'll probably cut all this shit out anyway, or I might not. Ooh, oh yes, nice. Do you have your bottle opener on you up here? Because I don't have my hat on. You do.
As long as I have my keys. Yes, I've got.
Where is Chico, California? Or Sierra Nevada? It's got to be northern Cali. Fuck it, I might just leave all this in. Ooh, Sierra Nevada. That's cool. We're gonna theme beer it this time. We're gonna drink the same ones. Steve's back with his headphones on, but not like he couldn't hear everything I was fucking saying anyway.
What?
What is this? What is this treachery? Oh wow, okay, that's very Northern California. Chico, California, where Sierra Nevada's West Coast operation is roughly 120 miles north of Sacramento. So that is very Northern California.
Is that in the region they call Jefferson?
That is as close to San Francisco as it is to Oregon. So it's up there. Or as somebody I know says, Oregon. And I said, this is not geometry.
It's an octagon.
I don't know where I was going to go with that. I need to finish this one so
West.
I can drink the next one. We're 18 minutes in, so I was going to say that we're kind of chugging the beers right along, but a beer every 18 minutes isn't unreasonable. I don't think.
Same power hour. It'll be
True.
power 2 hours.
How many beers you got left before plate number 14?
18.
All right, now I'm
15.
as well. After last night, you're 15.
Yeah, I was at 21 to 18.
Okay, so
they emailed me the wee hours this morning for my 180 alert.
Gotcha. And I'm 14 away, I think, for plate 9. One step closer to my free trip to Colorado next year, which I can get there. When is the GAMB? GABF?
GABF?
Bop it. What's that? When is it?
Kill your parents. What? September. It was late September because I was there about 2 weeks before getting laid off.
Oh.
So that was fun.
Better than being there 2 weeks after you got laid off.
Yeah, that too. that I might have stayed longer.
Or not, yeah. Or just not came back at all.
I just joined the homeless. Whatever.
So now we've cracked open some Sierra Nevada. I have a Sidecar Orange IPA. Let's see. Ale brewed with orange peel. That's all it says. Push the complex citrus-heavy flavors of hops to a new level with an orange-infused IPA. Let's see. Perfect aromatic IPA. 6.8%. Packaged on 4/9/18 at 7:48. All right. It has the time on there.
Thanks, Costco. But it doesn't tell you if it was East Coast or West Coast.
It doesn't. It just says Chico, California, and Mills River, North Carolina.
And I think the fact that these are being served up in Costco for $27 for a 24-pack, it's local.
Probably. All right, what about you, Esteban?
I've got the Sierra Nevada Sierra Veza. It's a good glass of Dos Equis, y'all. Inspired by the classic cervezas served ice cold by the beach, we created our own take on those easy drinking beers born south of the border. Sierra Veza, jeez Louise, that's difficult, is golden and crisp, with a balanced malt flavor and hint of floral hops that will have you calling out for another round.
Ooh. Cheers.
That's pretty good.
This is phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
And I think you could have had it yesterday too.
Switch. Yeah, I probably should have, but oh no, I had to drink a dragon's milk. Yours is really good too. I find that Sierra Nevada does no wrong either. I pretty much enjoy everything they do in Sweetwater. Everything Terrapin's done, I like. Steve and I don't really share a love for Victory beers. I mean, they're more miss.
Their Oktoberfest is pretty fantastic. They've had some IPAs that are good. That was one that definitely got up to a bad start, but the more time that passes, and surely not my taste getting more sophisticated.
Maybe they are, and don't call me Shirley. I can't believe Emily watched that and didn't crack one smile.
Not enough people getting murdered.
That can be fixed.
No, then that was the movie Airport 77. This is a parody of all those disaster films.
I remember on an episode of MST3K, they were doing they were watching some movie, and then everybody sat down, and I think it was Crow said, "Your in-flight movie is Fearless." The movie where the airplane got ripped to shreds in the air. Did you ever get into Mystery Science Theater?
I haven't seen the old one nor the new one. But
Yeah,
I do love me some Jonah Ray, though.
Yeah, I've heard some blowback from one of my friends who doesn't like anything, that he doesn't like it that much, but everybody else that watched it said it was a really good reboot. I mean, the original was fantastic, but I'm too busy with life to be watching a whole. So everybody's like, "Hey, have you watched this? Have you watched that?" I'm like, "No, I haven't. I don't have time to watch anything new."
I have seen but half an episode of the Grand Tour, and I've only now seen the first 2 episodes of the new season of Archer. They're up to 6. I've given up on watching anything.
I've watched every Grand Tour, so I can tell you. All right, the first couple of episodes were weird. The first season,
and Mike
was
Skinner was kind of terrible as well.
That I watched The Lap, but I just kind of cringed when he was taught. They just tried too hard with that character, and the celebrity brain crash was funny the first time they did it, but then they kept doing it, and it wasn't as funny. But I didn't take to the internet like everybody else with an opinion.
It's okay. The internet knows you hate everything already.
Not yet. Haven't gotten enough subscribers yet for that. But let's see. We're going to do the cars in a second. But back to Ghost. There was an interview at the Grammys, Gramm, I believe, IS, and it was the European Grammys. And they were nominated for the song He Is, which is great. By the way, if you don't know, Ghost is it's a satanic band. They're not really satanic, but it's very theatrical. So they all show up, and the band members are called Nameless Ghouls. So they don't show their face, anything. And the lead singer was Papa Emeritus III. Now it's somebody else. It's the same guy singing, but it was Papa Emeritus the first, the second, the third, and now he's Cardinal Copia. And they take the fake dead bodies of the former papas and have them for viewing on the stage, which is fucking cool, by the way.
It sounds like a kinder, gentler Guar show.
It is. It really is. But they were interviewing them, and one of the interviewees, they're from Sweden, by the way. The lead singer's name is Tobias Forge. He writes all the music and does all the stuff
Thanks
in the studio.
Thanks to Gattaga.com, I know that I'm part Swedish as well. Hello, you can call me Sven. How does do?
I was watching it, and they had the lady interview, and she's like, "So I didn't expect you to show up with all your all the makeup. It's a lot of makeup to show up with." And he in his Swedish accent said, "I don't think I'm wearing as much makeup as everybody else here." And I was like, "Slow clap, slow clap." The music's great though. It's very 80s. It's 80s metal. It's good shit, and he's got a great voice,
like King Diamond.
Not that. He's not a soprano.
Not bonkers.
He's a solid tenor. He's just beautiful tenor voice. Whereas I'm a baritone, and I think you're a baritone too.
I sing like an amputee. Can't hold a note. Can't carry a tune.
That was my favorite Tom Petty song, Don't Have You Live Like an Amputee.
I'm just borrowing heavily from 90s Bloodhound Gang. Are your OnlyFriends make-believe as well?
I know a lot fewer Bloodhound Gang than you do. But I watched the video to Smooth Criminal, the Alien Ant Farm did. I forgot how good that cover. It was different. And then their other hit, two-hit wonder there. Movies was a great song. I love that. And then they were gone.
Here today, gone today. Yeah, yes. They were awesome.
Yes, they were. I have no idea what they're doing. They're probably still. They probably made enough money on that. Back then, you made money on album sales. Now you make nothing on album sales. You have to tour. And if you're a new up-and-coming artist, you sign something called a 360 deal. They get percentages of your merch. Do you know anything about this?
No, but imagine this model has gone from bad to worse.
Yeah. Okay. So I was listening to Joe Rogan talk to Shirley Manson, which, by the way, I could listen to Shirley Manson talk for the rest of my life and not need any sustenance besides that.
That Scottishness, yo.
She's 51 or 52 and just phenomenally beautiful still. I think
she was on the Nerdist as well recently.
Really? That's right. The Nerdist still does.
Yeah. There's a weird change of command there, but for what it's worth, Nerdist podcast before things changed names and hands and whatever have you.
Gotcha. They Shirley Manson was singing with another band, and then they got signed and had like a 100,000 pound advance. Did you hear that?
50 tons.
They promptly didn't record anything and blew it all on drugs. So then they got in trouble, and the band everybody got fired. But then they were like, "Hey, there's this other band that needs a singer." So they asked Shirley to do it, and it was garbage. So she's like, "Okay, I'll do that." And Joe's idea.
So she entered garbage trashed.
She said it was. She goes, "I did a little bit." She goes, "But the other guys in the former band," she's like, they went nuts. They just couldn't get anything done. She said, "I did a couple things, but I mean, I'm not going to say I didn't, but not to that level." They were explaining the 360 deal. So if you were an artist, say it's 1990, and your band takes off, you get your record deal, and they give you $250,000, and they give you that money and say, pick your own producer, all that, record your album, bring it to us, and then you use that money, do whatever you want with it. You could record it yourself if you wanted to, and so once you get it done, then they release it. By the way, that's a loan. They don't give you that. You have to pay that back. Everything they do. So if they send a limo to you, put you in a really posh hotel, and send you an airplane, they bill you for all this stuff, and they don't tell you. You show a limo shows to pick you up, and you're like, yeah, that's just cool. They're taking care of me. Ooh, they're throwing in a record release party. They bill you for everything, and you have to pay it back. That was before the 360 deal. So now it's even worse. So that would happen, and they would get a percentage of your song sales and album sales. Not much, 20% they would take. Then you got all of your merch and all of your touring. When you did your tour and your merchandise, any T-shirts you sold, you got all of it. 360 deal now, they get a percentage of your merchandise sales and your touring. Even though your tour manager puts the tour together, your record company that you're signed with gets like 30% of your touring that they don't even do anything with. And new artists are pressured into this because they want to, quote unquote, make it and be professional musicians. And then so they sign these lucrative, horrible fucking deals that end up screwing them, and then you end up being bankrupt because then the record company says, oh, by the way, your record flop, we want our money back. So it's a lot more fucked up than... Just delve into it. Just Google 360 deals and it will explain everything. But you'd be stupid not to hire a lawyer to dissect all the legal jargon about mumbo jargon. But we got to get to something happier. Let's do happier than that. Let's do 3 Car Garage USA. Cue cool music. We don't have any cool music.
Cue the Springsteen theme.
Let's do the In a Barn in the USA when he sung with the Muppets.
Go on.
Born in a barn in the USA. I'm not a big Springsteen. Are you a Springsteen fan?
I don't feel I'm of appropriate age yet, but apparently this comes with time. But I might have 4 more years.
His favorite brewery is actually Big Boss.
Nice.
Let's do 3-car USA.
Although if I do hear Born to Run, that's a happy tune.
That one is. And then the Santa Claus is Coming to Town is horrible.
I really like that one, especially when it cracks up midway through it.
That's funny. It's funny, but the other parts
the thing is, I detest Christmas music, but I like that. I like that version of that song.
My every Halloween, fuck me. Every Christmas, my mom puts the I think they have DirecTV, and they add the Christmas music channels. Well, the old Opie and Anthony, whatever it is now, it's Opie and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but them with some sort of show now in Jim Norton.
That's it. It was Opie and it was something like that. Opie and Jim Norton. Yeah, it's something that sounds right. They have like a 2-hour block where they play really inappropriate Christmas songs, and my mom will be playing that throughout the house, and my dad's like, "That's really horrible. Can we fucking turn that off?"
The best holiday songs are the funny, crude ones.
They really are. My favorite Christmas song is Christmas in Hollis.
I was going to say AC/DC Message for Christmas.
I don't even like AC/DC's regular stuff. Christmas in Hollis is my jam, though. I love that. Man, Christmas will be here in 6 months. Just fucking kill me. I'm not ready for that. Although the cabin trip is less than that, so that's going to be a good one. So I haven't given any thought to the cars. Sometimes I will if we get enough notice, but since we just talked about it yesterday, so I haven't given this any notice. So to do 3-car USA is going to be interesting because you're not the biggest USA car guy, and I'm not either.
Well, what if you have some fun with it? So it's going to be the Ford Aspire and the Pontiac Le Mans and the Plymouth Colt. All captive imports.
No, I want a Dodge Colt.
Same diff. Colt Vista. Double sliding doors originating in the 90s, my ass.
That's when you get your business cards made old school, it's Colt Vista print.
I thought it was Colt 45 Vista print.
2 zigzags, baby, that's all we need. 2 zag nuts. Bit of honey. Last time when you order from Sweetwater, not the brewery, the music store, they send you a bag of candy with every order. So, and I got a bag of Bitto Honeys and Smarties, and I almost sent them an email going, "You guys, I fucking love you, man. Those are I love Bitto Honeys and Smarties.
I love Smarties. To pull both ends of the wrapper to dump the entire contents of the package in your mouth.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it's a single serving package. It's ridiculous and amazing.
Do you remember the candy necklace?
Yep.
Did you ever see
sprees with spree donuts?
Did you ever see Sinbad's bit on?
No, but I did meet him once upon a valet shift.
How was that?
I totally drew a blank as to who he was. Like, what name would you like this room under, sir? Like, that's Sinbad. Like, okay.
First name Sin, last name Bad.
Should be Sinwell.
He's huge, isn't he?
Yeah. I was like, oh, wasn't he a genie?
If you believe in the Mandela effect, he was.
I'm not getting confused with Shaquille O'Neal. Not yet.
It is funny to see somebody who's famous because 2 different times I've met or I've seen a celebrity and they've acknowledged that I knew who they were, and I didn't go nuts or anything or rush over to them. But the first time, actually, it was. I saw D'Angelo Williams, the old running back of the Panthers, at South Park, but we didn't make eye contact. I didn't say hey. But the first time I was at South Park Mall again, and I was walking, and this humongous fucking black dude is walking by, and he had a couple of his friends and his girlfriend with him. And I looked at him, and then I looked down. I looked back at him with I know who you are. And he looked at me, and he shook his head real lightly, and he went, Yeah, and he's like shaking his head. I was like, yeah, I know who you are. It was Tyrus Thomas. He played for the Bobcats. Second time was when Emily and I were on our way to San Diego, and I'm walking, and Danny Manning is walking by, who used to play for the Phoenix Suns. Now he's the coach of Wake Forest. And I did the same thing. I looked up and went, that's a huge black, that's Danny Manning. And I looked back at him like that, and he looked at me and shook his head. And it must be a thing with basketball players that when you acknowledge that you know who they are, they acknowledge back at you that you acknowledge.
They appreciate you not making a fuss.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Like, I'd like to shake people's hands and just say, hey, but I wouldn't do the selfie thing or autograph. I don't want to autograph. I don't want a fucking picture of your name on it. I mean, I'll take it if you give it to me, but I'm not going to stand in line for an autograph.
It's worth anything? Can I forge this?
Exactly. But that's cool. It's cool. Like, you look, it's like the double take. Then you look back and they go, yes, I am who you think I am. I'm like, that's cool.
Met Greg Olson during late in his injured period, so he was almost bipedal by that point.
Does he look as much like Michael C. Hall in person?
Yes.
Okay, good.
If he was a bigger teddy bear, yes.
Greg Olson is a big time metalhead, by the way.
Interesting.
Yes, like big time metalhead.
I think it's for the better. There are no such thing as lunch shifts at South Park Grill anymore. Those were a magnificent waste of time.
Well, a lot of
no one's shopping there for lunch. Dinner, on the other hand, it's brought to you by the folks behind Macintoshes.
I like their apples.
I'm indifferent at their computers.
Well, yeah, those are harder to eat.
Their stereo equipment, though,
that's
ridiculously expensive shit.
I'll skip it. I'll be a PC and an Android guy for my life. Emily still gets upset at me when we go by the Apple store, because every time we go by the Apple store, I stop and yell. I yell, I'm a PC. And I put my hands up like the old classic sports guy. I'm a PC. And then people stop and they stare at me, and I love it. And Emily's like, why do you insist on doing that every time? I'm like, because I'm a PC. 3-car garage. Do you have any idea which way you're going to go with this?
I've got half a clue.
I have sort of a clue. I do like USA cars. I don't like the econo boxes that come out. The higher end cars and the luxury cars from the US are pretty good cars. But the econo boxes are hard. When was the last time you saw a Cavalier? In any vintage Cavalier out in the wild?
There's one stuck in 45. It was one of the later ones. So by that proxy, yes, but it does prove your point. When's the last time you saw a Ford Escort?
Of any gen?
Sure.
Yeah. No. When's the last time you saw a manual Escort ZX2? Half past never.
I think it grew a horn on the front of it.
They don't do econo boxes well. They do SUVs really well, I think. Bronco, Explorer, Cherokee of Grand Cherokee and regular Cherokee. Your regular is a Jeep Wrangler an SUV,
yes.
Or is it is it something different?
It is the SUV. Everything else can only hope to be a tall station wagon.
True. Subaru does tall station wagons really well, though.
And with a Sawzall, you can make a Subaru Wrangler.
That was a good burp. That was a Cheez-It and beer burp. Gross.
Oh, is what you've been consuming.
That's true. What else? I don't know if they do sports car. Well,
they sure can make the shit go fast.
They can, but
handling's a pretty recent discovery.
All right, I got it. They make sports. They do make good sports cars, but they don't make them that often.
They can make good expensive shit.
Yeah, they don't make them that often because the Mustang wasn't a sports car to me until they put the independent rear in it.
And earlier it was just
muscle car,
sporty car,
it was muscle car, yeah. Which they do really well. America does the muscle car. America is the muscle car guy. But when they try to do the sports, I mean, I would say when the C5 Corvette came out, it started to be a sports car. The C4, not so much. It was still more of a grand touring pseudo muscle car. It was lighter weight, but have you ever ridden? I've ridden in a C4. Have you ever ridden in a C4?
I've only been in C5, 6, 7s.
The 4 is a rattle trap, but it's very comfortable.
It was on the market for 12 years, and it means it.
Yeah, especially, but still, I still kind of have a soft spot for the C4 Grand Sport. But let's see here. Well, Toby's messaging me about the show. I'll have to message him later.
Not now, Toby. We are in the middle of podcasting.
We are CAD posting.
CAD posting.
I'm inclined to say a fully restored 68 Dodge D100 440, 4 on the floor. Since my first car was a 68 Dodge truck. Or first, if it was in the family, and I drove it, and I took my license test in it like a boss. I'm inclined to say that. And I'm also inclined to give a CTSV wagon some love too, in black with black wheels. But I have a feeling you were going to say CTSV wagon.
You are correct.
So I'm going to switch it up, and I'm not going to say that. I will let you have. Is that going to be one of your three?
You bet your ass.
Okay, so I will not take that. I've taken the last two. I've taken from you. So I will say 68 Dodge D100, 440, 4 on the floor. Fully restored, not low-ridered, not anything, just fully restored, nice, clean. I would daily that. Now I have two more choices, and there's a lot of different things we could do. I'm not a big Ford guy, so I don't think I'm even going to choose a Ford. Do you have any Ford in mind you would want?
67 Cougar. I've always liked the way that car looks.
I need to be reminded on, you know what, you pull it up because you're going to be able to pull up the color and style and all that.
Do you want a drop top? Maybe.
Convertibles are weird. I know I've owned one for 5 years.
Yeah, by proxy, you've got one that the interior never sees the light of day, let alone the car.
And now the paint hasn't seen the light of day since I've been refinishing the garage, and it has a boat cover on it.
Hey, whatever keeps the gypsum dust off of it.
Yeah, the OEM car cover for the S2K is $180, which I'm probably going to end up buying anyway.
A lot of money for a blanket.
True, but it does fit. It is the cover that is made for it, so it does kind of fit perfectly. So I probably will order it because I'm a giant wad. You said 67 Cougar?
First year of it. It was concurrent with the Mustang instead of the Thunderbird at the time. So it's a smaller car.
Did it attract younger boys?
It did this one. Yeah, that. Oh, something kind of like.
Let's see here.
That.
That's pretty. I like that.
It's like, it's not pop-up lights, but it's got covered headlights, and either way,
that's
that
cool.
is freaking cool.
Yes. Steve and I like pop-up headlights.
Yep.
A new NSX is made in America.
You didn't specify American brands, however.
Yeah, I think it's kind of an
it's like,
unwritten
otherwise,
rule.
it's like, yes, I would totally add my current car, a Pontiac with a Toyota engine, to the mix. Oh wait, been there, got that, and this is Dream Garage. Expense and fuel consumption be damned.
I always thought it'd be cool, even though it'd be heinously unreliable, but to have a DeVille, like a 95 Cadillac DeVille and twin-turbo North Star, that would be just bonkers, but you don't want a North Star V8.
I was like the Seville better.
Either
the
one.
The more sporty-looking one.
Either one would be cool. Even an Eldorado, though.
Yeah.
That's a pretty car. And somebody had a guilty pleasure thing on Opposite Talk about what's your guilty pleasure car? And I said, last generation Lincoln Mark 8. I love those, and I don't know what it is about those, but
the coupe.
Yes,
yeah, that was a good-looking car.
Very, and it had the all of the ass ends are sagging on them because it had that
suspension shot. Something you could easily fix with, put springs in.
Yeah.
How soft do you need this car to be?
Not. And I miss the days where cars had V8, like the Thunderbird had a V8. It was a small coupe, but it had a V8 in it. I mean, it wasn't a powerful V8, but they stuck a V8 in it.
More V8 than I've ever had.
Not me.
And, recently?
Not recent.
Yeah. Do you can.
And even the V8 I had wasn't a recent V8. At all. So, we each have one car in our garage now. I'm going to go... It's got to be a Corvette of some sort. No. Hold on. I got it. I'm torn. Do I want a 97 Viper RT10 or do I want a 2016 Viper? The new one or the old one?
The last was even more bombastic.
Yep, I'm going to do it. 2016 Viper in white.
We'll call it the Wiper. I am the Viper. I wish to wash and wipe the windows.
I missed that story. I have that book.
You too?
Yeah.
At least had it.
Mm-hmm. Wait, do you have the regular one or the even more stories to tell in the dark?
I had all three of them back in the day.
I think we did too.
And I think I've got the audiobooks of it now too.
I also have the Ghosts of the Carolinas book, which is really cool, and it's from like the 70s.
So what does the Devil's Stomping Ground mean to you?
Every time we drive home from Scary, I always want to stop by Siler City, but it's like 10 miles out of the way. And it's like I always just want to just kind of come home after the family outings because the family outings are so big, and it's just like it's like my big fat Greek wedding, except it's all Asian. So there's just so much to digest all at once, food and mentally, that I just kind of want to get home and just go home. But no, that's a good one. That's a really good book, and I'll pull that out in a little bit. And if you're lucky, something else too.
Ooh. Hey-yo. Someone's at the door.
So I got last gen Viper. So what do you got?
A merger of the probably third and fourth place automotive industries. A Jeep J10 Gladiator. That big-ass Jeep truck.
Yes.
Basically the Grand Wagoneer, only in truck form.
What year was this?
Up until about 79, 80.
Was that 4-liter?
I think that could be 4-liter or 318.
Interesting.
So that would have actually predated Chrysler, come to think of it.
So you went old twice, and I went old once and brand new once, even though I still would like to have a first-gen Viper. But just for the refinement and the comfort, the last-gen Viper was the best one. So do I go Corvette? Do I go... Who haven't we mentioned? So we've mentioned General Motors and Ford and Chrysler. I mean, really, Edsel.
Which is Ford. Do you go Pacer, which is AMC?
Yeah.
Do you go DeSoto, which is Chrysler?
There's not really that many.
Do you go Cord, which is 1930s, but it's still wrong-wheel drive?
What was the Tucker?
Yeah.
Tucker might have been its own thing. And it sold like a ketchup popsicle.
It was very expensive, and the rest of the automotive industry was out to murder it. Oddly enough, Jeff Bridges was in a movie in 1988 chronicling the tale of it. It's fantastic, by the way.
It sounds like it.
Like what? You don't have a car with a rear with a helicopter engine in the back? I think it was made in 48 or 49, and they sold about that many of them.
Yeesh.
So prime examples of that. That would be a good fourth place one. Because, well, everybody knows what third place is going to be.
Yeah. Tucker car. Let's see here. Tucker Carlson. No, I don't want that. It's a pretty car. I mean, 51 cars were made in 1948. The Tucker. I mean, it's quirky.
It is totally styled for the era.
The Tucker 48 is an automobile conceived by Preston Tucker and briefly produced in Chicago in 48. 51 cars were sold, ceased operations March the 3rd of 1949 due to negative publicity initiated by the news media and a Security and Exchange Commission investigation in a heavily publicized stock fraud trial. I didn't know why they didn't make that many of them, and now I know.
Also cost prohibitive. Go ahead and try to find one now because of so few numbers.
Oh, there's no telling how much that would be. Body and chassis, rear engine, rear wheel drive. I didn't know it was rear engined. Wow. 4-wheel independent suspension.
In 48.
What
yeah. Unheard of.
What? Rubber torsion tube, no springs, with shock absorbers. Horizontally opposed in 6-cylinder overhead valve. 5.4 liter 6-cylinder. That's a big one. 7-to-1 compression. 166 horsepower, 372 pound-feet of torque.
What's the weight on that car?
Yes.
5K?
Let's see here. 4,200 pounds. 219 inches long, wheelbase 128, which is wide as hell, isn't it? That's
wheelbase is middle of front hub to middle of back hub.
That shit. I'm using the metric system today. Well, the width was 79 inches. That's
6'7".
Yeah, that's a wide fucking car.
That's one of your buddies from the mall.
Brad.
Yeah.
It was one Brad. 60 inches tall. So it was that's an interesting. The Tucker Torpedo. The most talked about the Tucker Torpedo toy boat. The Tucker Torpedo brochure in 47 was a concept that obviously, since it's a concept car, didn't reach it. But it looks like they crashed a Tucker and a Batmobile together. That's really cool looking. That looks like something we would have drawn when we were like 8. That's neat. You know what? Let's Google this because let's see. Best American. Best Amarillo. No. American. Best American cars. Let's do ever. Of all time. There we go. That's even better. You have to do the Jeremy Clarkson pause, though. The best American cars of all time. And then
which is funny because his opinions on those are even worse.
They are, but he always likes watching. He always likes driving them.
Yeah.
Well, Tesla is American.
Yep.
I don't want one.
My favorite Tesla's a Lotus.
Yeah. The Ford Model T. That's for nostalgia's sake. The Ford Model 18. Nostalgia's sake. The Duesenberg SJ.
Talk about an expensive car.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, let's see. The Duesenberg SJ was a hand-built money no object supercar, the 1930s equivalent of a Bugatti Veyron. With their twin-cam, 4 valves per cylinder, supercharged straight 8. Yes. Duesenberg SJs were capable of 104 miles per hour in second gear. And 140 mile per hour top speed, which is great because it had the aerodynamics of a refrigerator. That's cool. All right, we got the Jeep MB. The Oldsmobile Rocket 88.
I can more easily afford a Cherokee SJ.
Yeah.
The one that predated the small one like yours.
Mm-hmm. Corvette, Mustang GT, Chrysler minivan. Thank you, Motor Trend. And it's a Woody van, too. Tesla Model S is on there. We need somebody less objective. AskMen.com. This ought to be good. Sometimes it's good to ask men things. Other times it's really not. Let's see. Oh, it's a slideshow. Wonderful.
Just show me the whole damn article.
T-Bird. 55 to 97.
It's like T-Bird, win.
Yeah, not 02 to 05.
Like about the first decade, yes.
Yeah. The Prowler, which somebody swapped in a new Challenger drivetrain into. So it has a 6.2 liter manual transmission Prowler, which I gotta say, that would probably be a fucking blast. Let's see here. But greatest, though, like as it stands, I don't think the Prowler was that great. It's cool to look at.
It was this totally bonkers-looking thing with an engine out of a cloud car.
Yep. Although I do like the Chrysler LHS.
I like the early 300s.
Firebird and Camaro. The Mercury 8. You know what? I should just go ahead. Yeah, that's this.
Oh, what?
The Mercury 8. And pardon the flames because it's horrible.
That's a quintessential 50 lead sled.
Yeah. I'm almost inclined to say that I will take number 3 to be Christine.
Ooh,
a Fury.
A 58 Plymouth Fury.
Yeah. But I'm going to hold out. I'm going to hold out a little bit. Celine S7. Do you remember those? It used to be the fastest car in the world. And then the Europeans said, no, fuck that. You're not taking that. Eldorado convertible, 53 to 66 with the fins. Do you like where Cadillac's going now, or do you kind of miss the ostentatious, humongous look at me?
The jet set caddies will never be beaten. Those are the coolest damn things. Like, all right, and meanwhile, they're making really nice boxes on wheels.
Viper is on there.
They go fast.
They do. Mustang, you had to know. I'm not even going to have a Mustang on my list. Corvette's number 1.
I got as close as we're going to get to those.
You did. Corvette's number 1. Thrillist, best American cars of all time. There's going to be a lot of the same. I'm just trying to see if there's something on here that is kind of... The 82...
Nobody loves the AMX.
The 82 Jeep CJ8 Scrambler. Yeah, well, yeah, that shows your Jeep truck love. That's pretty. 57 Cadillac Eldorado Brougham. That's classy. That's fucking classy. Shelby GT500. Camaro 1LE from 2017. I forgot about those, but it suffers from the wrong transmission syndrome. The Saitai twins. Cyclone Typhoon. I can't.
That said, an S10 two-wheel drive with the 4.3 in it was a rocket.
Oh my god, it was.
It's like my granddad had a 91 that I drove for a while my car was in the shop, and that was dangerous because you want safety. All right, you got a seatbelt. Hopefully, you don't crash this thing because the steering column will impale you.
That was the TVR method. We don't put airbags into cars. Why not? Well, don't crash. Steve changed up beers on us.
Surprise.
While I'm looking at cars, Steve, what are you drinking now?
Sierra Nevada Kolsch, German-style ale. From Cologne to California, Kolsch-style beers are a favorite around the world, just not in this room. Prized for their incredible drinkability while maintaining a depth of flavor. Our stamp on the style, this Kolsch is a punch of bright, citrusy American European whole cone hops to add West Coast character to this well-traveled ale.
What was the ABV?
5. So is the Cerveza.
Nice. The top 15 most beautiful American cars of all time. Oldsmobile Future...
That first-gen Tornado, yo.
The Oldsmobile Futuramic 98. Did I say that correctly?
Futuramic?
Yeah.
It looks like a giant Nash.
Bridges? Buick Riviera?
No.
The old Rivieras? Those are pretty.
That's concurrent with the first-gen Tornado, yes.
I think I have my answer. I'm down to Corvette, white C7, or 71 Challenger Hemi. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Corvette because driving an older car is not as glamorous as you would think it would be. By the time you're it's cool. It's mostly original. It's restored to its original form. Oh, brakes in the 70s were horrible.
Rest in mind, bro.
Yeah.
I could not give less of a damn if this old car's kept original. Like keep the body, throw some cool wheels on it, usable suspension, brakes, engine. Yeah. Time to change. Styling's mostly gotten worse. Have some fun with that. And I'll go CTS V-Wagon. Although, not in black or silver. Maybe a nice red. Have some fun with this 5-door Corvette.
Did they make them in that color?
I've seen it in maroon. So, it is a thing. The cheapest one I've seen was 100,000 miles in Northern California for $30,000.
Road trip.
Lower mileage ones go for, say, $60,000, and they're appreciating because these were journalist specials, and they sold 7 of them.
Yee.
At least, properly equipped. Couldn't care less to have the sunroof.
Well, if it's still for sale in NorCal, we can go to Sierra Nevada West.
Yeah, also that $30,000 short.
Nonsense.
Minor detail.
Yeah, it's nothing. And if you get the maroon one, just don't have your license plate say 5.
No, it says victory.
We don't like that either. So you have...
Fine, it'll say V4.
You have... So you had the Jeep, the... Merc, and the wagon. Okay.
Yep. And true to the Don Henley song, it's going to have to wear a Grateful Dead sticker, as well as the Atari's cover of it, so it has a Black Flag sticker on it as well.
Yes. But Josh Hagler and I almost bought a 56 Cadillac hearse on Craigslist for $2,000 that came with a coffin. And the Cadillac emblem on it was as big as your head. And we were going to turn the coffin into a speaker box and put 4 tens in it. And we were just going to cut the sprint. We were just going to have this pimped out hearse wagon, but never came to fruition because I was like, "Hey, it's $2,000. If you chip in $1,900, I'll chip in $100."
Nice.
It never came to fruition. They actually sold it pretty quickly.
For that price, I can imagine, and it's probably living on as a Ghostbusters wannabe car now.
I'm thinking so, and it was already black. I mean, it was in good shape. It was low mileage.
White for the Ghostbuster effect, but yes,
true. It was very low mileage too, because if you're only driving back and forth from the funeral parlor to transport your dearly departed, you're not going to put that many miles on it. How's your Kolsch?
Light.
Very.
It's better than that Tybee Island Blonde was, but that doesn't take much.
Oh, hello, low hoop to jump over. It's not bad. I'm not a big Kolsch fan.
It was just part of the pack and figured, I'll do another one of these, and that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know how long this is going to last.
Worse.
I don't know how long it's going to last with us, keeping all the bottles and cans up here. Just clap your hands. But we're going to run out of table space by episode 13, I think. Mm-hmm. That's okay. We'll just stack them up higher.
Let's pick up more tables.
The saucer. Remember the
the plate party when it was all the cheap 50-backs?
Yes. And I think Laurel was there too, wasn't she?
Yeah.
I miss Laurel.
Prior to Raleigh and now living in Denver, if I recall correctly.
I thought she was just visiting. She actually moved out there?
Get back to you on that.
I thought she was just visiting.
Something new job.
Hello to Laurel, who probably doesn't listen to this, but she's good peoples.
Yep.
So we're going to...
she went from Mustang GT to Mustang GT to Civic Si.
Yep. So she got more reliable and cheaper parts and better gas mileage. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mustangs are cool. I just don't want one. I've never wanted one. I've driven them. I get it.
I think plain Jane sports cars, not my shebang. If I could get a CTS V-Wagon type Mustang thing, which was only sold in Australia... Yeah. Hell yeah!
It's the commonness of it. If you were to go out to the main drag, walk out there and stand for 30 seconds, you would see at least 2 Mustangs.
One of my neighbors has 4 Mustangs of various ilks.
Not the one across the street.
No, this is around the corner.
Okay.
But it's like 2 SN95s and 2 Fox bodies.
Well, they use that same Fox chassis from
And get this,
ever.
across the street, there's a guy with an 80s Charger in it.
Hell yeah.
It's seen better days.
It's horrible, but it's
neat. It still has flip up headlights. It was from the 80s Turbo Chrysler era, so Mitsubishi engined.
Malaise has ruined me because I'll see it's like you see a Ferrari, you're like, okay, it's a Ferrari, and then you see like a Dodge Shadow RT go by, you're like, oh my fucking god!
Yeah, I was like, when's the last time you saw one of those?
I know.
When's never? Is never good enough for you?
Yeah. It was, I don't know, it was a simpler time, to borrow a line from the cheap Costco. Or was it Costco beer? Simpler times?
No, that was Trader Joe's.
That's right.
Which isn't bad in both its forms.
It's doable.
Find yourself a better beer for 67 cents a can.
You can't.
The name tag is heartburn in a can. I've already got heartburn. I need him a beer to give it to me. A little more willingly anyway.
I've never had heartburn. I don't know what that is. I'll trade that with your hairline. And your allergy. I'll trade your allergies. I will take your hairline and your allergies, and I'll give you my no heartburn.
Frankly, the allergies are less painful. I've been used to that. Now there's better meds for it. Zyrtec doesn't knock me out. Oh, hey, Benadryl.
Well, I'm dreaming of living in Southern California.
I think say you're California dreaming
on such a humid fucking day because it's North Carolina.
Actually, this week's not that bad.
Today's beautiful, but it's not L.A. I have no interest in living in L.A. or even visit. I mean, visiting would be fine. Going to Hollywood, that would be cool.
You were never a ska fan, were you?
No.
Less Than Jake had a song with the best title ever.
Oh.
Hell looks a lot like L.A.
It's funny because when I listen to Joe Rogan or Segura or Kreischer, when I listen to all of them, they were like, they live in L.A. and they're like, they can't wait to leave.
Yeah.
Or
anytime you listen to Smoking Tire, like, yeah, it was 10 miles and it took me 9 hours to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, San Diego seems perfect for me because the traffic is still, it's not great, but we live in the city now. And we're used to that. And the traffic's, it was my experience when I was there that it wasn't any better or worse. It was comparable. But there's a lot more things to do, and you can walk to them more easily. It's a lot more walkable and mass transit-y than here. Although Charlotte Douglas Airport is by far the better airport. San Diego's airport is tiny because if you fly to SoCal, you fly to LAX. That's just where you go. So San Diego has one runway in and out, and Charlotte Douglas has 6. That should tell you how much bigger the airport is here.
What was it, 4 runways here?
I thought it was 6, but let me look it up.
Okay.
Let's see here. I had another.
Last I used that was 3 years ago, and then last I used it before that was 14 years before that.
I'm happy to be wrong. I thought it was 6. Airport runways. Okay, let's see here.
Who is this Douglas anyway?
I'll let you know. Just Charlotte Douglas International Airport. Much bigger than you would ever think it would be. It's named after former Charlotte Mayor Ben Elbert Douglas Sr., and it gained its current name in 1982. It's the second largest hub for American Airlines after Dallas-Fort Worth, with service to 161 domestic and international destinations. It was the 11th busiest airport in the United States in 2016, 7th busiest airport in the world ranked by aircraft movements. That's incredible. If you're ever wondering why it takes so fucking long to get in and out of Charlotte Douglas, that's why. Let's just see here. Airport type public. Yes, it is. What were we looking up? Runway. Runway.
How many runways this thing got?
Yeah. You would think it would have been closer to the front of this, but fuck you. I don't need to know everything about it. I just need, the deets, man. I need the Cliffs Note. I need Wikipedia Cliffs Notes, man. Cliffopedia.
Article 1. Bassist for Metallica.
That was my favorite Swedish pop group, Ace of Bassist. All that I really want is another baby. Not a baby, another baby.
Bye-bye.
Baby.
Dingo's going to eat it.
I heard that in two different things. I think it originated in Seinfeld, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. I still don't understand it. Hey, a $55 million.
Elaine mock somebody?
Yeah. A $55 million remodeling project began in the fall of 2016.
And it'll never end.
It's still fucking going, man. It's still going. Parking. The overload.
You know, they could get a lot more work done if they just shut it down for a while.
Yeah, about that. 7th busiest in the world.
Fuck it, they can fly through Greensboro.
Or Myrtle Beach International Airport.
Heyo.
Which looks vaguely like a couple people flying drones. Cargo statistics.
I got that regional airport not far from here off Albemarle.
Yeah, they do. I don't think I've ever seen an aircraft anywhere remotely to that.
And there's another remote one in Monroe.
That's
and there's one just above Concord Mills.
That I knew. I have seen aircraft coming out of there.
That's a nice looking airport.
It's not bad actually. I don't know. I thought it was 6 runways, but it might be 4.
Team to fly out of there.
It might be. Charlotte Airport number of runways. Come on, Google, man, don't let me down. It let me down.
If it was a Canadian airport, would it be YYC or YYD?
It depends on if Neil is in charge of everything. That's a terrible name, though. Neil?
Not if it's DeGrasse Tyson.
True.
Or Brennan.
Those are
dude from Rush.
Or Diamond. Great Neils.
It's still no Keith.
What if your name was Keith Neil Neath?
Neath. Ugh. The thing that makes my teeth itch. That makes my ear itch.
Neath.
Ugh. I need Q-tips after that one. Is that beneath, underneath, overneath?
Ben,
not a word.
Your first name is Benjamin. Beneath.
Beneath. Ugh.
You ever like the soccer player from the 90s?
I never thought a phrase could bug me more than mouthfeel.
Yeah, every time I see that, I think of you. Like Emily had said when I was first meeting her cousin, she was like, "Nina hates snakes. Don't say anything about snakes." And
well, then what's on the plane?
I was like, she really doesn't.
How many snakes go through Charlotte Douglas Airport?
Well,
how many motherfucking snakes go through this motherfucking airport?
Well, I know one came on Air Force One lately. God damn it! I already forgot what I was going to say. I don't think it was important.
Silly names. Cousin doesn't like snakes.
Yeah, and the other cousin doesn't like the word moist. So I was like, can I bring my own dish? So I can bring my own dish and say, hey, I made it something for dinner. This snake is really moist. Have you ever eaten snake?
No. Closest I've had was alligator.
Gator.
Now it tastes more like chicken.
It does. Frog legs?
Yes.
Frog legs are great.
Yes.
And they taste kind of like chicken.
Yep.
Yeah, they really
do. I think, oddly enough, the best frog legs I ever had were at a Thai restaurant in Salisbury.
What restaurant?
The Thai restaurant in Salisbury.
That's what it's called? The Thai. No, it's just the Thai restaurant.
This was a long time ago during someone else's darker period, so there.
Okay. Gotcha. The only restaurant I've ever been to in Salisbury, I've been to IHOP, Outback, and the Salty Caper, which was a pizza craft beer joint a long time ago with Thomas, because he used to work in restaurants, and anything Thomas does, he automatically thinks he's better than you at it. So for a long time, he was into cooking after he worked at the restaurant. So we went up there to talk to the owners. Pizza was really, really good. I don't even know if they had capers on their pizza, but it was called the Salty Caper, and pizza was decent.
Anything's going to be a better name than Another Broken Egg Cafe.
That's a horrible name, but the food's pretty decent. It's decent. I mean, it's breakfast food. It's hard to fuck breakfast food up. I mean, it's not that many ingredients. It's the same shit everybody else makes. I'm sorry, gourmet breakfast places. I'm looking at you, Another Broken Egg,
Brunchifist.
And anything like that. No, rich people eat brunch. Like, poor people just wake up late and eat breakfast late. That's just how it is.
If at all.
Exactly. I always thought it was fun. Let's go to brunch. I'm like, ew. I just don't like hearing it.
Oh, you've been to Saucer Brunch?
But if you open at 11, it's fucking lunchtime.
Do you like a little grease with your sausage? Because they'll deliver.
Yeah.
It hurts.
It's fucking good. It's better than a lot of the regular menu. Although I did have I eat chips and salsa there because it's $3. Because the chips and queso is like $7.50. I don't want to pay $4 for queso. I do keep a Mexican restaurant on speed dial in queso emergency.
I heard something really terrible this morning.
Oh?
Apparently the Mexican food scene in Australia is quite lacking. Apparently there are not a lot of Mexicans in Australia, therefore very few Mexican restaurants.
I don't know about you, but I want kangaroo tacos.
Yes.
That sounds fucking fantastic. But I have to drink an IPA with it because more hops. Steve is gabberflasted.
What's the sound of one hand clapping?
I'm almost out of beer.
Fix that.
Yeah.
You need to get Mountain High.
Fuck yes. I'm glad you got that out because I like IPAs, but I'm not in the mood for another IPA, even though it's the wrong time of year for it.
I got a zillion beers at home and couldn't really land on anything, so I just grabbed a bunch of random stuff. So,
gotcha.
Here you go.
The thing is, too, I know I have a drinking problem. I just don't care.
Well, the only drinking problem is getting good beer.
Well, I read something the other day that said, I sat down and I was like, should I have a beer tonight? And then I was like, well, somebody could come in the house and kill me. Then I wouldn't get to enjoy this beer. Of course I should have a beer. You should totally... What the fuck is that?
Random find from stuff I'd had packed away whenever ago.
Please open that. That looks amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Hoof-Hearted Brewing Cult Rider Imperial Black India Pale Ale, weighing in at 23 proof.
So it not only is it bestiality, it's bestiality and pedophilia, because a cult is a sexually immature horse. I know that because my high school was the West Stanley Colts.
CULT, see you next Tuesday. Dabbling in the dank and dark arts. Brewed and canned by Hoof-Hearted Brewing, Marengo, Ohio.
Arriba. It's a doozy.
This is super trippy looking. So we've got Luke Skywalker, even older, riding a three-eyed goat. And in his hand is his own third eye with a bunch of jibber-jabber popping out of it.
Is it blind? Did it graduate? That looks amazing.
This is lit on meth.
What's the ABV?
11.5.
Fuck
like
me,
I
yes.
said.
Fuck yes.
23 proof.
Your Saranac is that you gave me is best by March 31st, 2018, but I don't believe everything I read. Saranac 4059 Porter. Let's see. Independent Craft Brewers Association certified. That's what it says. So it's got to be true. 5.2% named for the height of nearby Porter Mountain. No kidding. It says no kidding in parentheses. You'll hold its roasted character and full flavor in high regard as well. 5.2% ABV and 42 IBUs, and which stands for International Badass Units. And a 10-cent California cash refund. That's something to look forward to when I move out there.
Speaking of Seinfeld, that was a really funny episode.
Which one?
When Kramer and Newman are taking a mail truck full of recyclables to Michigan for the 10-cent deposit. Things do not go well for them.
This is average at best. How about yours? Groovy. That smells.
This tastes like I'm not going to be able to feel my face later.
But honestly, it smells like a imperial stout, not a black IPA. That's the greatest fucking picture. Actually, you know what? That looks like who did you say that was?
Luke Skywalker in another 20 years.
I'm gonna try this beer, and then I'm gonna pull up a picture of who I think it looks like. Wow, that's a good one. You should have started with that one.
I could see your third eye popping out of your head, man.
That's not... Never mind. That was dirty.
You feeling cocky?
Man who keep hands in pockets feel cocky all day. Let's see here. No, that looks like... It looks like Clint Howard's character. It looks like Clint Howard with a beard. You remember Clint Howard?
Yeah, the lesser Ron, yes.
We talked about L. Ron Hubbard and the lesser Ron, and we've also talked about horrible names. Did you try this porter yet? It's average.
It's not this particular one. I've had this before.
It's not so good.
I don't know if their powers combined, that would be pretty good. Like,
I'm thinking about Boilermaker in this with the maple Knob Creek I have downstairs.
Go nuts.
I think I should. How about I do that?
Yes, go forth.
All right, so just Boilermakered that beer since it wasn't very... It's not that it was bad, it was just kind of bland. So I Boilermakered it with, from episode 6's, I think it was 6, the Maple Knob Creek.
I can't count that high.
Well, I edited it, and I still don't know what episode it was. But
it is the most famous shit show ever.
Yes. Shout out to Mark Konieczny. Last night we hung out with him at Saucer, and he said that episode was great because by the end of it, it didn't make any fucking sense. Okay, that made it better.
Mas Bueno.
It's pretty strong. Maybe 2 shots.
I'm going to keep this. Not to drink it, but to pour it over waffles.
Yeah. We'll just put a little cornstarch in it to thicken it up. I got waffles downstairs.
Neat.
Thomas just sent me a picture.
The syrup or the waffles? Yes.
What the fuck? Thomas sent me a picture of a Pikachu that says a Eurasian magpie. Aren't you supposed to salute a magpie when you go by it?
I'm not English. Therefore, that Top Gear episode made no sense.
I still don't know how many runways the Charlotte Douglas Airport has, but I thought it's either 4 or 6, but it's quite a bit more than San Diego's.
5-ish.
5-ish. We have done...
I mean, of all else fails, that Western Church of 45 isn't seeing a whole lot of use. So, do with that what you will.
Yeah. One of my friends from CAA has Metallica tickets. He's got 4 of them for sale for a pretty good price. I've never seen Metallica live. Have you seen Metallica live?
Negative. When is this?
September. I think it's in the fall. It looks like it's less than $100 a ticket, but it's pretty fucking good seats. So thought about going. There's 4 tickets.
If I'm not at the beach at that time, sure.
Are you going back to the beach and around that time?
Ogtember.
Gotcha.
Still trying to hammer out the wins and whats.
Gotcha. Well, we did vacation last month, and I think I'm going to work June and July, and then I'm going to take vacation in August, and then work September and October, and then take before open season and retail begins and holiday season, which you wouldn't think it would be as bad at a grocery store, but it fucking is.
These festive fuckers gotta eat.
Well, it's an American holiday. Every American holiday is an excuse to eat. Even an American holiday that's really a Mexican holiday, like Cinco de Mayo, is an excuse to eat. Like every holiday. Like, oh, is it Columbus Day? Fuck it, come over, let's grill out. It doesn't make any sense anymore. We got to get a new grill. My grill's rubbish.
I can help you with that.
No, you can't.
With the grill itself, yes, because we're acquiring grills from both my dad and Caitlin's dad.
Okay.
So we're about to have spare grill.
Okay, because I tried everything but aircraft coating stripping remover on the grates from the grill I inherited.
You want a smoker too?
Yeah. God, that'd be great. Because
okay.
Usually I do.
Like, I have access to this. Like, I don't know where I'm going to put it, but it is free to get home.
Well,
so
I'm redoing the garage. Well, I'm gonna, after I get the garage done in the fall, I'm gonna do a stone patio outside the screened-in patio. So I'll probably just stick the smoker out there and grill out right there.
It is charcoal. The one part of it's a bit more ferrous oxide than the other, but it's a vertical part of this and horizontal part of that, and it's got wheels and looks like a tiny Conestoga wagon.
So do you take the mantra of the charred, or do you do the Hank Hill? Which kind of meat do you prefer? Because I don't have a preference.
Rare's good.
Yes.
But as far as propane versus charcoal, is it safe to eat? I'm good.
Ditto. I like the charcoal flavor.
I'm not a fan of King of the Hill.
Okay.
I love me some Boomhauer because he's incomprehensible, but that's really about it.
Have you seen the episode where it delves into his head and what he's saying is slow because he knows what he's saying, so he's talking slowly and everybody else is talking really stupid? That's a really funny. But I didn't watch the memes are funny and the jokes that they did are funny, but I didn't watch it because I lived it.
I do not understand Bobby Hill's purse thing.
I don't know you. Do you want to know the origins of that?
I've got all day. I mean, I don't, but whatever.
You do.
Neat.
So the episode was Bobby was going to take some kind of karate or self-defense, and I think he went to the wrong class, and he went to a women's self-defense, and they were like, "Be powerful. Tell the robber, that's my purse. I don't know you," and then kick him in the groin, and he kept going to the wrong class, and that's where that came from.
Okay.
It's a clever, like, it's Mike Judge, so there's little subtle nuances. It's funny.
Beavis and Butthead.
It's not. It's funny, but I lived it because I lived out in ding 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 Ville for 15 years. You couldn't fucking pay me to go back and live in that county. And
Stanley Tools, yes. Stanley County, no.
And I'm not ashamed of where I came from. I love all the people that I grew up with. I just wouldn't go back. I don't fit in. The mindsets are different, and I'm not saying mine's better because I know a couple of my friends listen to this too that still live out there, and I love them to pieces.
Get out while you can.
I don't fit in with that lifestyle, even though I grew up in it. But when you're a kid, you don't have any choice on where you're growing up, so you make friends with people and you love them to pieces, but sometimes you just don't fit in with the crowd that's out there. And I don't.
And that said, I grew up in Greensboro. Greensboro's only gotten cooler in the last 20 years.
It's since it's like they were like, Steve's gone, let's do something.
Yeah, like let's add a bunch of microbreweries and cool bars downtown, and it doesn't hurt that everybody I know there is now of legal drinking age, so you can actually go do stuff.
Yes. I don't know what I would do without booze.
Are you aware of the dangerous things that straight edge kids do?
Slit their wrist? Oh, wrong straight edge.
It's a bloody mess. No, basically, like, say, go around graffitiing, go around vandalizing, go around, like, injuring themselves. Like, hey, let's go play a game of jump off the roof.
Hey, fuck that.
It's like, dumb shit when you need to get your rocks off somehow and just can't drink it away because you're not going to.
Yikes.
Maybe booze ain't so bad.
I don't think so. I think you should. Well, my tattoo artist, he said, why don't we just legalize everything, tax it, and use that money to fund healthcare? And it's a brilliant idea, but it will never work because there's a two-party system, and you have to be one way or another, and people are morons and assholes and greedy. And as long as the answer to every question is money, that will never happen. It's common sense.
Hey, let's make healthcare itself cheaper.
No, I can't do that. There's too much invested in this.
Yeah.
Well, if you go points elsewhere, you can get blah blah done for way cheaper.
Yep. Emily's late cousin Stanley, before he passed away, he had would fly every 6 months to Germany to have his treatment done. It was cheaper for him to buy round trip ticket to Germany and get his treatment done.
Which BCBSBS plan was this?
I'm trying to think of a good German pun, but since I'm not as familiar with their culture as you are, I'm just gonna skip it and say it was cheaper for him to buy the round trip tickets and the treatment and a hotel for a couple days than it would be for him to have that treatment over here. That's how much. When you run, people's health shouldn't be for profit. It shouldn't be. Most of the time, you're not really, when you get sick, it's not really your fault. I mean, sometimes it is, but a lot of times it isn't. And I would rather live in a country that helps people than says, well, we can't do this because this might happen.
Why should we help you? You'll help yourself here.
Yeah.
This is the USSA. Go fuck self.
You make me Sequel and Hammer.
You have stars and stripes. You not like this, you go fuck self. Go elsewhere.
Who want waffle?
You forget to make waffles. Oh, crap shits.
We got to get off of that or I'm going to get depressed and start drinking more.
Whoops.
So, I'm redoing the garage to make a nicer place for my car I never drive to sleep. And if you've never...
You might as well just, have a lift so, the car can go up into the roof and then have, another one you actually do drive parking beneath it.
I'm not opposed to that.
It's there was once upon a time I saw a really high mileage S2000 for less than $10,000.
They're decreasing in value, and it's unfortunate because people are... The old Civic guys are buying them, and they're turning them into these stanced, fucking, just horrible-looking cars.
Monstrosities.
Yeah. But it kind of keeps the value of mine up.
Dear Civic guys, start with the yellow ones.
You're not a yellow car guy,
No.
though.
I do not want my car to look like a school bus.
Certain cars look good in yellow, but most of them don't.
I'm opposed to it because I have eyeballs.
Corvette can get away with yellow. Exotics can get away with yellow, but your Aztec cannot get away with yellow. Your Jeep can't get away with yellow.
It's a vibe, and it's navy blue. That said, the certain shade of putrid green they came in suddenly makes yellow not seem so bad.
But you know what was I didn't appreciate it at the time, but now when I see one, I geek out. I believe it was 92 to 96 Civics you could get in that teal green.
Oh yeah,
Beautiful
I like
color.
everything in teal.
Beautiful color.
That is the most 90s color out there, and nothing but the Fit a decade ago has come close to that color anytime remotely recently.
I should totally do, when I repaint the Jeep, I should do it in that color teal.
Deal. Fuck your white car. No, do it in teal. I want to see the Jeep in teal. I want to see M's Accord in teal. I want to see the S2000 in teal. I want to see my Panota in teal. I want to see Cayman CRV in teal.
We can plastic dip the Panota in teal.
Teal's a tough find. They had to order that one.
No, we'll mix it. Because they sell the sprayer now, the plastic dip sprayer, so you can mix your own colors.
That said, doing the budget Mini Cooper with the white roof.
Yeah.
It's peeling already. Probably because it's sprayed over shit paint.
Well, not necessarily. Did you spray it and then say it's done, or did you put clear coat over it?
Clear coated as well.
You did plastic dip clear coat. If you paint clear coat over it, it will really stay. But if you ever want to change it, it's a pain in the ass to get off.
No, you're supposed to be able to peel it off, man. What the hell?
When you use paint clear coat over plastic dip, it's really hard to get off. Do you want to know why I know that?
Experience.
Well, helps when a buddy of yours has a. When I got my wheels powder coated on the S2000, he has a bead blaster. Sandblasting is more efficient, but sand is more abrasive. So the bead blasting is a lot less abrasive, so it doesn't.
What's the bead blasting?
Beads glass,
which is made of sand.
The sand is more abrasive.
Okay,
because it has the carved the sharp edges, and the glass beads in it are rounded,
more tiny glass ball bearings. Got it.
Yeah, so it'd be like. So, would it hurt worse to get hit with a baseball or a baseball with little spikes on it?
Would you rather be hit by a baseball or hit by a rock of the same mass?
Yeah. I'm drinking out of my California drinking glass I got for the beer tour.
Nice.
It was cool. I love that town. I want to go back. I want to go back this year. I want to live there. It'd be hard to do the podcast like that.
Do you love cows? You can go to Vacaville.
I want tacos again. Or wings. Or taco wings.
Yes.
I got to work early tomorrow. We're not used to doing this on a Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. Huh. What?
That too. But I was going to mow sooner or later. All this rain has not been conducive to my lack of willingness to go spend 2 hours turning a foot-tall lawn into 2-inch-tall lawn.
Well, if you got the gas-powered one, it would have been a little quicker.
Okay, it'll be an hour 40. Well, I do have a gas-powered one, but it's sat for 4 years, so it's going to need some work.
That's okay. I've never changed the oil in mine, and it's 5 years old.
All right, Thomas.
Yeah, but it's a $60 mower, not a $14,000 car.
What I do have's supposed to be a nice one, so I might have to play with it sooner or later. A 7-horsepower Husqvarna mower.
Oh, nice.
It's not now, Tim.
My yard takes roughly 30 minutes to cut the grass, trim, and blow all the grass away.
I would have to take up sprinting to achieve that on mine.
I have 1/10 of an acre.
Yeah, instead of half.
Yes.
And despite it being a pretty flat yard, there are a few elevation changes in there that are a bit terrifying, and a few short tree stumps that haven't been completely dug out. So that's going to be a lot of fun to play with a sledgehammer and a hatchet.
Thanks, Peter Gabriel. It's a great music video.
Is that the stop motion one?
Yeah. You can always, every time you watch it, you find 6 new things you didn't see before. That was a really expensive video back in, I believe, my birth year when it came. I think it came
86
out.
86 sounds right.
I think it's 86. I'm going to look that up now. Arguably, Genesis is better with Phil Collins, though. They had more hits.
I was going to say it's better when it's a Sega, says this Nintendo kid.
So if you ever had a Hyundai Genesis,
I would totally get the license plate Sega.
You'd have to carry a guy named Phil around with you in the back for a couple years and then move him to the front seat.
Okay.
Let's see. Peter Gabriel. He doesn't look like himself anymore. Sledgehammer, let's see here. Please be 86.
Or do you hear about Phil Collins' Face Value 1980 versus a re-release from a couple of years ago?
Oh.
Where Face Value 1980, it's Phil Collins' face in 1980. re-release in 2015. It's Phil Collins' face in 2015, so it's a bit more linear.
Yeah. Here you go. Here's a cover of Sledgehammer by a band I really don't see why everybody loves so much. Thank you very, very much.
Dave Matz?
Yeah.
Oh, what's up? I forgot that guy's name that has a plate below mine, so I can hate him more.
I hate him too. But I don't like Dave Matthews' band that much. I know why people like 86 Sledgehammer. Yeah.
Yeah, we're right.
Yay.
You get to be the winner.
I want a chicken dinner because I'm pretty fucking hungry. Or a frog leg dinner.
I'm going to have more pizza.
Frog wings.
Go on. Flying frogs.
Frogs.
Just like that bottle of Savannah whiskey bought for Kaylin for her birthday was from Hawgs Liquors. HAWG''S. Because it was a mile from my cousin's house.
Nice.
Meanwhile, Dad spent less money on more Jim Beam. I was like, well, say what we will about the trade issues with China. In the meantime, it makes Jim Beam, now owned by the Chinese, way cheaper.
Interesting.
I don't know if you can find yourself a half gallon for $27 like he did, but aspirations, yo. Or Froogs McDougs.
Chinese Jim Beam. That sounds like a sex maneuver.
I think that's more of a gymnastics maneuver as well.
It's a James Nastics. We're formal here.
Trying to get fancy.
Yes.
It's a James-nasium.
Okay, so this is a true story. The elementary school Toby went to was K6. It was K6, but they had a new principal and they turned their gym into an auditorium that they called a gymatorium. It was a gym with a basketball court in it, and it had a carpet. It was horrible.
Worst basketball dribbling ever.
It was horrible because when there was a game going on, you didn't get the squeaky shoes and the ball back. You just heard. It was horrible.
As well as, yeah, trying to play b-ball on carpet, as bad as I am at that, is difficult.
Well, your boy here used to be able to play really, really well, but since I haven't picked the basketball up in a fortnight, I don't dare to.
Your game 2 weeks ago was pretty strong.
Oh?
You said a fortnight.
That's true. And I looked at it like this. I was like, I've never made any money playing basketball. I've made decent money playing music. I think I'll just stick with that.
And then it doesn't matter if you're playing on carpet or not.
And if I were single, I'd be playing with a lot more carpet. I think we're going to wrap it up a little bit. I would say early, but this is early for us because it's an hour and 45 minutes, and we usually ramble on for about 1 year. So thanks again for the support. Look for us soon on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere you get podcasts. Steve's got me addicted to Podcast Addict. It's so ironic.
I don't think.
And that's pretty much it. Listen to us on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CBGPod, and it will soon be available to download everywhere, so you don't have to burn any bandwidth on your YouTube if you don't have access to Wi-Fi at work. Steve, you got anything to add to this?
I can only subtract from at this point.
But not divide?
We're not drinking that brand of beer. Great Divide?
I would kill for an oak-aged Yeti right now.
All I got's a Sasquatch.
But it also makes me hungry because an oak-aged Yeti steak would probably be really good.
You have to catch it first.
To catch a Yeti, you have to think like a little cooler. For episode 9 in this Cars, Bars, and Guitars podcast, I'm AJ.
And I'm Steve.
Steve, I think we're done.
Hassel Luigi.
Later. I didn't mean to hit the table. Order in the court.
Disorder in the podcast. And scene.